I was reading about Jim Jarmusch, the filmmaker, one time. Might be on his Wikipedia page, and he was talking about his love for Iggy Pop, and he says that him and his missus have a rule where I think they live in the Catskills mountains in upstate New York, but they were like, we have a rule in our house: if Iggy is playing within 100 miles of where we live, we go see him. And I was like, that's a cool rule. Support your like OG favorite artist and collaborator. Has he been? He's in Coffee and Cigarettes. I don't know which other. Maybe some more. Maybe that new zombie one. You'd think Iggy Pop would be in a zombie movie, but anyway, I do the similar thing with. I've decided I'm going to do a similar thing with the Brian Jonestown Massacre because been a favorite band of mine for ages, and had high hopes when I saw them live for the first time in Atlanta last year, and they exceeded expectations. And they're playing again next week, and I'm getting to go see them with a buddy of mine. So that's going to be great. Anyway, long way of saying, talking to an anecdote about the movie Dig, starring the Brian Jonestown Massacre and the Dandy Warhols. Who knows how much of that movie is real? And there's lots of differing opinions, but let's assume the narrative that they tell in the story is truthful for a moment. But in the movie, there's this moment where the Dandy Warhol star is rising a little bit, and they've got some showcase performance in New York City, and Anton Newcomb from the Jonestown Massacre is jealous, or at least that's the way the narrative is constructed. That he's like, "Fuck the Dandies, we should have a showcase show in New York City." And so he arrives. He sends them bullets in the mail prior to the show with their names on them. Each of the names of the Danny Warhols on the bullets, and then with like a threatening letter, and then he arrives at the show in roller skates trying to sell his own vinyl. And so anyway, this is presented as kind of like a break in their friendship. The frenemy status between the two bands kind of cracks, and then become kind of like actual rivals at this point. And uh Pete from the Danny Warhols is talking about him. He's like, yeah, I just can't be his friend anymore, but I'll keep buying his records. And that's something that's always stuck with me, because I think that like that's kind of the goal for creative people, where it's like, if I can get like-minded people to like my shit, maybe, like what's going on with me personally can change like the weather. Particularly if you're a creative person, there are going to be some fucking ups and downs. But it's almost like you've got this fucking whole nother side to you. You're four-dimensional in a sense. Most average people have got their work, their family, and maybe I don't know, a little bit of socializing. But if you create stuff, if you kind of like have something that people enjoy, it's this whole nother kind of like way for people to kind of communicate, well, not necessarily with you, to get something from you. So they could kind of like totally cut you out as a friend, but still be a fan. And I think that's where it gets tricky for people, because as a creative person, you want fans and you want friends, but I think a lot of people will neglect their friends because they want more fans. They're like, yeah, the friends, they like me because I'm like I don't know, we have all this history together, or like, we have chats about whatever, Roman, the Roman Empire. Men are always talking about the Roman Empire, right? Yeah, you have some like mutual interest, and that's why they like you. But there's a part of you where it's like, yeah, why didn't they like my creative stuff? That's the juice. but maybe that's not for them and they want to connect with you as a friend. So some people you got to be like, yeah, we're friends. That's where we exist. And some people they're like friends with you, but then maybe also fans of your work. And maybe you're a cunt to them as a friend, but they still like your work. Or maybe your most recent bit of work isn't to their taste, but they're still your friend. So you're going to juggle that. And then there's the other option where someone becomes meets you because they're a fan initially, and then they become your friend. So it's like, what are they? Are you going to accept them as a friend? Or you're always going to consider them a fan? Because that seems like a cunty move, right? Tricky, right? You need both if you're a creative person, I feel like. And I feel like it's a trap where certain people, I know I did this when I was younger, you try and funnel everyone into being like, oh, you're a fan. Everyone's got to go be a friend. Let's be friends. It's impossible. Like there's the Dunbar number thing. You're not going to be able to, you're going to spread yourself way too thin there. And it's going to just be a very sycophantic relationship where you can kind of like, you've got all the power and you're not really giving them anything back because you're just spread too thin. So it's kind of like an interesting thing as you get older, regardless of whether you're a creative person, you want people to be in your corner, to have a friendship group. But you kind of like, if you're going to have proper friendships, you can't have too many. You've only got room for a handful where it's actually going to go deep and it's going to be reciprocal. And if you've still got that urge to get more, maybe you need fans instead of friends. At a certain point, beyond 25, I don't think you can have too many friends. It gets too difficult to manage. You don't have enough time in the day. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you're a friend and a fan so I can disappoint you in two ways. All right, catch you on the next one. Bye.